4 months at a time, this card stood on top. This card defined what it means to be a hand trap. It is the upper echelon of hand traps, but what if I told you that playing this card might be costing you games this meta? This card, of course, is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. About 83% of you guys are not subscribed. Subscribing, clicking that like button, and commenting all help me out a lot in doing what I really want to do. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I know. MBT did this video first. Well, I have an opinion on this too, and I haven't watched his video on this at all. I even joked about it with my friend on Discord, thought it was funny. But those of you who frequent stream know I will occasionally rant about Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and its place in the metagame. But anyway, let's go over what this card is. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is a level 3 fire zombie effect monster with 0 attack and 1800 defense with the following effect. When a card or effect is activated that includes any of these effects, quick effect, you can discard this card to negate that effect. The effects that it negates is either adding a card from your deck to your hand, special summoning a card from the deck, or sending a card from the deck to the grave. Now, this card's attribute is fire, which is relevant, and we'll touch base on that in just a moment. This card is seen play as a card to shut down effects that would start or extend the plays of most decks. Think about it. Ash Blossom on your search to find your starter. Ash Blossom on the card that specials your starter out of deck. Ash Blossom on the starter that sends the extender to the graveyard. Ash can be useful against pretty much all decks due to the synonymity of the effects that Ash can interact with and what we in the business like to call good effects for good decks. If a deck were intended to be good, it should have the effect of one of the deck's key cards that Ash Blossom would be able to interact with. Not only that, Ash Blossom asks nothing of you. It doesn't need to be sent to the graveyard specifically with some of the other hand traps, Droll, Veiler. So if your deck has 3 non-engine slots, one of the go-to options has always been Ash Blossom for its overall playability in pretty much all metagames. Now, Ash sounds amazing after talking about it objectively. Why am I trying to convince you that it isn't? Well, the thing is, Ash has one fatal flaw. It has an attribute. Ash would be infinitely better if it didn't have one or if it was divine attribute. Why is that? Well, you see, there are these groups of cards that keep on rearing their heads in any attribute-themed deck. There's one of them for all attributes except for divine, and in certain metas they can really get nasty. They are the one, the only, Charmers. The one that I would like to look at specifically is Hita the Fire Charmer Ablaze. Hita the Fire Charmer Ablaze is a Link 2 fire monster with 1850 attack with the following effect. It needs 2 monsters including a fire monster. It's always treated as a familiar possessed card. You can target 1 fire monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to a zone this card points to. If this Link summoned card is destroyed by battle or destroyed by an opponent's card effect while it's in its owner's monster zone, you can add 1 fire monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect to Hita the Fire Charmer Ablaze once per turn. The effect is good, but not so good where you might want to ban it. It's only good if there's a fire monster in the opponent's graveyard. Do we know what fire monster everyone plays to stop a deck from building an unbreakable board? Oh. So the thing is, right now Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in a pretty lopsided metagame. The best deck head and shoulders is Snake Eye Fire King with Labyrinth right behind them. Let's focus on the Snake Eyes since they're the focal point of the meta. Pretty much all their important cards read like they lose to Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I mean, it seems like if you stop their Sinful Spoil Snake Eye or their Wanted, their turn should end, right? Wrong. Look at how many of these cards they have. All of these cards generate so much advantage that Ash Blossom is basically paramount to wanting to bash their kneecaps in, but you can only muster a light flick to the forehead. And with Hita the Link Charmer, instead of hindering them, you just handed them an extender on a silver platter. I'm not saying Ash Blossom's a bad card, far from it. Because it's such a unanimously good card, the best deck in the room is walking away with far more games than it should be just because it can leverage Ash Blossom being in everyone's deck. They're even playing Lullaby of Obedience to find Ash, for Christ's sake. To wrap things up, Ash is good, but I would highly recommend looking at other hand traps if you plan to play against Snake Eye Fire King. Here are some hand traps you might want to consider playing. Slow down the video to see them all. But I want to hear what you think. Do you think Ash is bad? Will you still be playing it? What deck are you bringing to this format? I try and look at all the comments and respond when prompted. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day. Thank y'all so much for watching the video, it really means a lot. If you want to talk to other Yu-Gi-Oh players in a competitive manner, please feel free to check out my Discord. We are still growing, but we would love to have you, and we plan to do some events sometime soon. You will also be able to do cool stuff like vote on future videos and topics of videos, so swing by sometime and check us out. I also started a Patreon, so that'll be linked in the description of my videos from now on. Donating would mean a lot and would help in producing these videos. Right now, there's only one tier, being Tier 1 Femboy. This tier includes access to an exclusive Discord channel where you'll be able to talk amongst other femboys and have access to discussions with me as well as getting a shout out in every video following your patronage. Thank you so much for all your support.